Thanks, guys, for your time. Hope it's not as cold there as all the jackets are making it look like it is. Uh, Decent
No,
condition.
sorry, it's not bad at all.
Okay, great. And captains today, good to get out on the 4G moon.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, Mike. I thought we had a very good week. We got some good prep on a similar pitch during the week, so it was really good. Conditions are actually really good, like Dabo said. A little bit windy, but it's nothing that we're not used to. We're really ready for tomorrow and looking forward to the challenge.
Cool. Dara, from a coaching perspective, obviously nice to have a full week in Galway. You got your 3 training sessions in, unlike last week, which was obviously a little bit mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we only trained once last week. We had a completely normal week this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, normal content. The only thing we couldn't do was do double sessions. Like, the forward sometimes go out, then we come back in and then go out again, just because the 4G that we could get was, probably about 20 odd minutes drive away. But from here, we got all the training stuff in full week, 8-day turnaround, so no complaints, and that's cool.
Nice one. And then on selection, we brought in Damien, Hachiva, and Brock. It's not 3 bad players to bring into the starting lineup.
Yeah, Damon obviously wasn't available last week, so that's big for us. Brock is just a phenomenon. I mean, to be at that age, the way he moved, the way he played last week, the way he's training, he's incredible. So we just felt we wanted on the 4G. It's actually bizarre, eh? You want the movement and you go for the 39-year-old. But yeah, and Quenza also moves really well. So and Steve's coming back from a long injury, so we wanted to give Quenza a run as well. So that was the thinking there. And then again, Achiever made a difference when he came on. Also, sort of on a fast surface that a 4G is, his speed's quite a nice thing for us. Tough on a guy like Willie is, probably brought in for the sort of more blood and thunder, muddy sort of type games. But with Evan's actually keen to develop all over the back row. He's probably the best of the, with Dion and Nama both injured, he's probably the best sort of guy over the ball in terms of stealing. So putting him at 6, Achiever, I think we've got a really, really good loose trio out there.
Cool. Leeton's got his hand up first. We'll go to him.
Thank you, Mikey. Hi, Dobbo. Hi, Moon. Dobbo, just on the selection, is that to hopefully run Connacht off their feet at the start? It wasn't a great start last week out, but are you hoping for something more with more intent this week, if I can call it like that?
Yeah, I think you asked. It was your question last week about the start of that game, or what we lacked. So yeah, we certainly want more intensity. We don't want to start like we started last week. Unfortunately, sometimes with these teams, or unfortunately, part of rugby is you've just got to keep working, and let the sort of physicality or the intensity take its toll later in the game. But we wouldn't like to stretch it to last week's thing. I think Chuk Sachiva just made such a statement when he came. And especially, as I say, on a 4G, the plan would be to start with more intensity, obviously. I don't think it's not a plan to us to sort of recklessly try and move the ball everywhere. We're playing against probably one of the most exposed unusual stadiums in the competition. The wind, the crowd, the dog track around it. This is something unusual. It's not like anything else in the competition. Amazing place, amazing people, amazing fans. But it's not going to be the sort of the game where we're going to be trying to make the Connacht people think that they got their money's worth in terms of running the ball. We've got a job to do tomorrow, and this is our plan. So yeah, not really running it, but just the more intensity and the much more intense start than last week will be important.
And just if you take a look at the log, this game becomes even more so crucial looking at where Connacht is behind you guys. The Sharks still in the run for that 8th spot in that final. It's a do or die. Otherwise, you play knockouts against the Lions in 2 weeks' time, eh?
Yeah, we will have aware of what the position we're in. Yeah, like I said to the team earlier, lots of what ifs. There's Osprey's game was very expensive, a poor tour at the start. But that's where we are. Connacht, we know, treating this like a final. I mean, if they win this, they're gone. So that, and then they're known as a team of fighters, especially at the sports ground. It's got a new name now, but I can't. With respect, I can't remember it. But they're at the sports ground, so they're going to be absolutely desperate. I think it's going to make for, and then we are as well. That's the truth. You know, we want to finish. Not only do we obviously want the top 7, which is non-negotiable, we want to finish as high as we can, find pride in where we are in our history of the URC and that sort of stuff. So it's a high pressure game, make no mistake.
Salman, have you guys touched on the fact that if you win, you sort of sure of a place in the knockouts? But also just to stay away from looking only at that and not going through every minute and every play in the match.
Yeah, I think during the week we mentioned that we mentioned the possibility of winning this game and how important it is for us. And wanting to go back home and play that Lions game with what's the word I'm looking for, with a bit more certainty, I'd say. So we know really we really know how important this game is, and just to set ourselves up for the playoffs. I think that game in Cape Town is just gonna be about who we're playing in the quarterfinals, but really our full focus is about this weekend and getting the result.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Leeds. Next is Stephen. Yeah, Stephen.
Well, yeah, thanks very much. Hi, guys.
Bye, Steve.
Steve.
Dobbo, what's interesting about just following the media in Ireland, there seems to be a lot of pushing of emotional buttons, in terms of motivation for Connacht. You see talk about the stand being demolished after the game, and also the incoming and departing players and so on. So there seems to be that emotional angle that is being pushed to motivate the players. I mean, that's how I'm reading it from afar. I mean, is there any relevance in that? Does the stand, the stand being demolished really have a kind of an influence on the performance of a team, or how do you view that?
Yeah, I think we're clear that this is going to be a really, really desperate Connacht team. You're right, there are a million components, or not a million, there are a lot of components to it. The stand, if they don't win, they're out the URC. They got this reputation of being the sort of 4th province, in terms of the love shown to them by the Irish Rugby Union and that sort of thing. So they're real underdogs and fighters and scrappers, and these things will add to it. The stadium, the departing players. So we know that we're going to have to be really, obviously, intense at the start and really disciplined and not give them entry points. Not just talking about penalties, whether we loose with some detail or offload or something like that. That we're really disciplined in this game and really intense, because there's no question that they'll come out. They're going to come out frenzied. Can work in their favor, can also work in our favor. That's why we're going to have to be really disciplined and, as I say, intense and physical. But that is the narrative we're getting here as well. Do or die for Connacht. You see on the billboard and the end of an era and all that stuff. So it's got all the recipes of a really, really good game.
And Salman, how do you contain that kind of thing, that kind of emotion? Is it simply through starting with intensity?
I think, I think to keep it simple, it's really about the way we start. And I think that's the only thing you can control is your intensity. Look, the crowd is going to be up against us. There's a lot of elements going into this game, but ultimately the only thing we can control is our intensity, and that's our intensity in our attack, defense, in knowing our detail, our discipline, most importantly. So we're well aware about what's coming our way.
Dobbo, the move with Evan to 6. He's obviously a guy that you use a heck of a lot as a ball carrier in terms of getting momentum and so on. Will that change his role in any way in terms of as a ball carrier, or is it really irrelevant in terms of, when you've got the ball in hand? Is it more about what he does when you...
No, our system is 6 and 8 are very similar there. Where we've probably made the mistake in the past is 8 and 7. one of our guys has to sort of be wider, to defend in the gate, what we call the gates. It's the back three, it's a center wing and loose forward in the gate. And we don't ask Evan to do much there, especially on attack. Defensively, he can be in the gate, no problem. But him and Dion, it's a very similar thing. They're carrying all the time. They're setting up those pods off 9. They carry there, which Evan loves doing. Carry off 10. He's basically an A2 who likes, Chiva as a guy is very much a sort of traditional, if you're going for a 2-4-2 system, whatever, he's very much a trams player. Where Evan is always between the 50s. He wants the ball. He wants as many carries as he can. So it actually suits us more. He's more suited to play 6 for us than play 7 for us. So yeah. So and then we just felt like last week, as well as Philly played, and he did play really well. Was that what we're sort of learning? Not learning. I guess we knew it. It's not our fault. Nama and Dion are both injured. But if we're making amazing defensive sets like we did last week, those huge doubles, you do 4 or 5 of them in a row, then the opposition, like happened when they gave that bridge pass to Rio Dyer, that suddenly they get 7 yards, and your big forwards doubles have got to go back 10 meters. So, that we do need somebody who can just get us that odd steal or just commit the extra cleaner, just to slow things. As good as I say, we defended really well last week, that whole game. But we weren't putting any pressure on their breakdown. And so having just Evan in that sort of bit of a license to put his head in and have his hands on the ball is quite useful while we haven't got Dion or Nama.
Cool. Thanks. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Guys, are there any other questions? Surprised there's nothing from the guys at the Blue Pizza. Gavin, you okay? All right. Dobo, Salman, thanks so much for your time. We'll catch you after the game tomorrow. All the best.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, gents. Thanks very much for everything.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.